We are live.
Hey, we made it through the weekend. No, wait, that's not Monday. It's Friday. I got all confused. It's almost the
That's
weekend.
a good thing,
Damn.
though.
Yeah, I've been working on a car. Trust me, I had to run to three different auto parts to find a valve cover gasket for the mother-in-law's vehicle that I'm working on tomorrow. And it's not, two of them couldn't order it, didn't have it, had nothing to do with it. Got to the third one, which I'll give them a shout out, which was O'Reilly's, and they could have the part in their store at 7:30 in the morning. And I'm like, yep, do that. That's fine. So I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off there for a while. I could have used the phone, which would have been the smart thing to do, but I like having stuff in my hand. So if they had it, I wanted it then to where I could just bring it home. But that's nothing to do with Song of Ice and Fire. All right. I am old new dude. He is,
Richard York, Asher's trueborn son.
and this is brand 5 of A Clash of Kings. It's not a long chapter. uh, if you've seen any of these videos and the 5 people that are on, I know you have. But we start with the brains of the operation, which is Richard, and then I'll jump in with my stupid stuff every now and then. So take it away, Richard.
Thank you, sir. The green dreams do not lie. This chapter is so short that I'm just going to read the whole chapter.
Yeah, and as long as we stop and talk about what we're talking about, we don't
Yeah,
get in trouble. But if you read the whole chapter, for some reason, you can get in trouble for that without stopping.
yeah.
Hey, Sir Dave.
This chapter is short. All right. Alebelly found him in the forge, working the bellows for Micken. Maester wants you in the turret, my lord prince. There's been a bird from the king. So Bran was working the bellows for the smith, and the smith is one of the aspects of God, so there's probably some sort of symbolism there, but I
Yeah.
don't know. Now I'm interrupting. That's
You're
what's a
never
special treat?
interrupting, Sir Dave. It's
What a special
say
treat.
whatever you
All
want.
right. What a special treat. All right, here we are. From Rob, excited, Bran did not wait for Hodor, but let Eobelly carry him up the steps. He was a big man, though not so big as Hodor, and nowhere near as strong. By the time they reached the Maester's turret, he was red-faced and puffing. Rickon was there before them, and both Walder Freys as well. Maester Lewin sent
Quick
Eobelly
thing,
away,
real
and
quick, before
yeah,
we go any further.
yeah.
Um, I don't think they sent for Rickon. I think he like going to the crypts before Bran. I think
Oh, yeah.
he, yeah. I mean, they sent for the
Okay.
phrase because there's
Rickon
information in
was
there for them, but I don't think he called for Bran and Rickon.
okay.
Because Bran is
Maybe.
the Lord of Winterfell, but I think Rickon
I
just
don't
knew.
know. I mean, the way that they pair him with the welder phrase, I think it's supposed to sound like he's there for whatever's in there, but I don't know.
Yeah, sorry.
No. It's an interesting interpretation. Maester Lewin sent Alebelly away and closed his door. My lords, he said gravely, we've had a message from his grace, with both good news and ill. He has won a great victory in the west, shattering a Lannister army at a place named Oxcross, and has taken several castles as well. He writes us from Ashmark, formerly the stronghold of House Marbrand. Rickon tugged at the maester's robe. Is Rob coming home? Not just yet, I fear. There are battles yet to fight. Was it Lord Tywin he defeated? Asked Bran. No, said the maester. Sir Stafford Lannister commanded the enemy host. He was slain in the battle. Bran had never even heard of Sir Stafford Lannister. He found himself agreeing with Big Walder when he said, Lord Tywin is the only one who matters. Tell Rob I want him to come home, said Rickon. He could bring his wolf home too, and mother and father. Though he knew Lord Eddard was dead, sometimes Rickon forgot. Willfully, Bran suspected. His little brother was stubborn as only a boy of 4 can be. Bran was glad for Rob's victory, but disquieted as well. He remembered what Osha had said the day that his brother had led his army out of Winterfell. He's marching the wrong way, the wildling woman had insisted. Sadly, no victory is without cost, Maester Lewin turned to the Walders. My lords, your uncle Sir Stevron Frey was among those who lost their lives at Oxcross. He took a wound in the battle, Rob writes. It was not thought to be serious, but 3 days later he died in his tent asleep. Big Walder shrugged. He was very old. 65, I think. Too old for battles. He was always saying he was tired. So, given the genetics of the phrase, it seems very suspicious that he's died in his sleep at 65.
Yep. Hey, Charles.
Stubborn is a Stark trait. Yeah, I would agree with that, Charles. Um, so, anyway, it's a very suspicious death. Edwin and Black Walter seem the most likely poisoners. Edwin is mean, smart, and delivers one of my favorite lines, demonstrating both. From Feast Jamie 6. Jamie turned from Sir Ryman to his son. Edwin, I am giving your father's command. Try not to be so stupid as your sire. That ought not pose much difficulty, my lord. Anyway, that's one of my favorite lines.
No, your favorite line is "What madness is this?"
Well, I suppose, but
yeah,
I think it's one of the funniest comments, and it's right in front of his dad, right? Is the heir to the twins at the time. He's the heir to the twins now because there's Stoneheart has the crown, and Ryman is no longer with us. But anyway,
Little Walter.
Little Walter hooted. Tired of waiting for our grandfather to die, you mean? Does this mean Sir Edmund's the heir now? Don't be stupid, his cousin said. The sons of the first son come before the second son. Sir Ryman is next in line, and then Edwin and Black Walter and Peter Pimple, and then Aegon and all his sons. So Jingle Bell apparently has lots of trueborn sons here, but none in the appendices later, so this seems to have been retconned. To be fair, to be fair. Okay. So the 65. Yeah, 65 is a little old for battle, I suppose. Ryman is old too, said Little Walter. Past 40, I bet. And he has a bad belly. Do you think he'll be Lord? I'll be Lord. I don't care if he is. And as we just said, no, he won't be Lord. Maester Lewin cut in sharply. You ought to be ashamed of such talk, my lords. Where's your grief? Your uncle is dead. Yes, said Little Walter. We're very sad. They weren't, though. Bran got a sick feeling in his belly. They like the taste of this dish better than I do. He asked Maester Lewin to be excused. Very well, the Maester rang for help. Hodor must have been busy in the stables. It was Osha who came. She was stronger than Alebelly, though, and had no trouble lifting Bran in her arms and carrying him down the steps. I do like that Osha's stronger than Alebelly, right?
Yeah.
Alebelly's this big guy who's trained as a guard, I think, right?
Yeah.
And Osha's just like, yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
But Freys lived to be 175 and ever, so he's still young by comparison. Exactly. That was my point.
On the one that has the bad belly, I wonder if that's more Frey, because anytime somebody dies of a bad belly, it's suspicious. So if somebody already has a bad belly, I'm thinking that somebody's helping that bad belly along.
Well, but in this case, it's we already know how he dies. So
yeah.
But I don't know that Edwin would stop with just his with just his grandfather, right?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Osha.
Where were we? Okay, such talk. Osha, Bran asked as they crossed the yard. Do you know the way north to the wall and even past? The way is easy. Look for the ice dragon and chase the blue star in the rider's eye. She backed through a door and started up the winding steps. So every reference to the ice dragon implies it is hidden or at the wall. The only exception says it is Jon Snow's old friend.
The rider having a blue eye, I think foreshadows that there is going to be a whited or a White Walker type person riding that ice dragon later on in the story.
I don't know. Maybe. Would you think that's a resurrected Jon?
I don't know. I'm assuming that he's going to be resurrected through fire magic, and that shouldn't give him the blue eye. It all depends on if they wait too long.
Oh, she backed through the back door, etc., says Lady Thistle. And there are still giants there, and the rest, the others, and the children of the forest too. The giants I've seen, the children I've heard tell of, and the White Walkers, Why do you want to know? Bran said the others, and Osha responded with the White Walkers. Earlier, Bran explicitly asked Old Nan if the White Walkers meant the others, and she agreed.
Yeah.
Did you ever see a three-eyed crow? No, she laughed. And I can't say I'd want to. Osha kicked open the door to his bedchamber and set him in his window seat, where he could watch the yard below. And we've talked before about how he likes to look down on people with sort of a god's eye view, right?
Yeah. Also, I think it's funny that she wouldn't want to meet a three-eyed crow, hinting that maybe the three-eyed crow is not a friend.
Or it could be ironic because she could be talking to him.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
He
I
does.
like that even better.
He does love dramatic irony, right?
Yeah. Okay, you got me on that one.
It seemed only a few heartbeats after she took her leave that the door opened again, and Jojen Reed entered unbidden, with his sister Mira behind him. You heard about the bird? Bran asked. The other boy nodded. It wasn't a supper like you said. It was a letter from Robb, and we didn't eat it, but the green dreams take strange shapes sometimes, Jojen admitted. The truth of them is not always easy to understand. Yes, like if you dream someone killed Bran and he wound up in the crypts, it could technically be true, but without Bran being literally dead. Hypothetically, of course.
I agree with Mirror because she's about to say this.
Right.
What's the point of giving them green dreams if you can't change it?
Right. Tell me the bad thing you dreamed, Bran said. The bad thing that is coming to Winterfell. Does my Lord Prince believe me now? Will he trust my words, no matter how queer they sound in his ears? Bran nodded. It is the sea that comes. The sea? I dreamed that the sea was lapping all around Winterfell. I saw black waves crashing against the gates and towers, and then the salt water came flowing over the walls and filled the castle. Drowned men were floating in the yard. When I first dreamed the dream, back at Greywater, I didn't know their faces, but now I do. That Alebelly is one, the guard who called our names at the feast. Your Septon's another. Your Smith as well. Micken? Bran was as confused as he was dismayed. But the sea is hundreds and hundreds of leagues away, and Winterfell's walls are so high the water couldn't get in even if it did come. In the dark of night, the salt sea will flow over these walls, said Jojen. I saw the dead, bloated and drowned. We have to tell them, Bran said. Alebelly and Micken and Septon Chael, tell them not to drown. It will not save them, replied the boy in green. Mira came to the window seat and put a hand on his shoulder. They will not believe, Bran, no more than you did. Jojen sat on Bran's bed. Tell me what you dream. He was scared, even then, but he had sworn to trust them, and a Stark of Winterfell keeps his sworn word. Does he, though? Sorry. Anyway, just thinking of Ned. There's different kinds, he said slowly. There's the wolf dreams. Those aren't so bad as the others. I run and hunt and kill squirrels. And there's dreams where the crow comes and tells me to fly. Sometimes the tree is in those dreams too, calling my name. That frightens me. But the worst dreams are when I fall. He looked down into the yard, feeling miserable. I never used to fall before. When I climbed, I went every place, up on the roofs and along the walls. I used to feed the crows in the burned tower. Mother was afraid that I would fall, but I knew I never would. Only I did. And now when I sleep, I fall all the time. So let's pause there, and we have to talk about that one. It's fine, Bran. The Septon is a really good swimmer. Everything will be fine. Cough, Rob. So we do have to talk about this, though, right? Because we're specifically told that the tree is it. We see the crow fly out of the tree in one of his dreams. So we know that the tree and the crow appear at the same time.
Yep.
If you don't think that the tree is Bloodraven, then what is the tree calling him north?
Well, I mean, the first time we see it, he sees the tree, it's calling to him. The three-eyed crow flies from the branches, goes straight to Bran's face.
He's telling us the truth, right? We know he's telling us the truth. We've seen it. The tree calling him north is separate from the crow and appears in those same dreams. He tells us this. Anyway.
But the people that think Bloodraven is the three-eyed crow will not listen to that. They've made up their mind
And
It's
the appendix tells
100%.
them they're right. Just as the appendix tells us that just as the appendix tells us that John is Ned's bastard and Joffrey is trueborn, and it tells
Yeah.
us a lot of things.
Yeah.
Anyway,
The appendix is misleading.
uh, it's or it's telling you what you're supposed to believe, or
Yeah.
what the
At the
society is supposed
current
to believe.
point of the story,
Mm,
that's what's going on. And
yep.
I will laugh if in later books, like after Winds of Winter, there is an updated appendix that has some of the information that we don't know yet that is revealed in Winds of Winter, and the new appendix will reflect that, whether it's John Stark,
Well,
whether it's
but you,
yeah.
if you get that, it wouldn't be till. Oh, your point is well. But did we learn? No, we. The problem is the appendix is always at it's at the end, but it lists the situation at the beginning.
Yeah. Oh,
So
at the
you'd actually
beginning of
have
the
to.
book. Yeah, okay, okay. We
And
would
so
see
you'd
it.
actually have to get the second book out before that would.
Yeah, that ain't never happened.
The appendix tells us they're right, and GRM is releasing wins in 2021.
He's supposed to be at a acid lake, stuck in a dungeon, and doing nothing but writing. That's what he's supposed
Well,
to be doing the last 3 years or something.
and actually, doesn't isn't um, the first book at the end of the first book it says that the next book is going to be called, I think it says the next book's going to be called Dance. And at the end of the second book, I think it tells you the next book's going to be called Dance. He just kept pushing it back. Anyway, um, well, I guess as of the last book, it no longer says the next book is going to be Dance.
Yeah, that's true.
Now it finally says it's Twins of Winter. But anyway,
If he split the book, we don't know now.
yeah. All right. Mira gave his shoulder a squeeze. Is that all? I guess. Warg, said Jojen Reed. Bran looked at him, his eyes wide. What? Warg. Skin changer. Beastling. That is what they will call you if they should ever hear of your wolf dreams. The names made him afraid again. Who will call me? Your own folk. In fear. Some will hate you if they know what you are. Some will even try to kill you. Old Nan told scary stories of beastlings and shape changers sometimes. In the stories, they were always evil. I'm not like that, Bran said. I'm not. It's only dreams. The wolf dreams are no true dreams. You have your eye closed tight whenever you're awake, but as you drift off, it flutters open and your soul seeks out its other half. The power is strong in you. I don't want it. I want to be a knight. A knight is what you want. A warg is what you are. You can't change that, Bran. You can't deny it or push it away. You are the winged wolf, but you will never fly. Jojen got up and walked to the window. Unless you open your eye. He put two fingers together and poked Bran in the forehead hard. When he raised his hand to the spot, Bran felt only the smooth, unbroken skin. There was no eye, not even a closed one. How can I open it if it's not there? You will never find the eye with your fingers, Bran. You must search with your heart. Jojen studied Bran's face with those strange green eyes. Are you afraid? Maester Luwin says there's nothing in dreams that a man need fear. There is, said Jojen. What? The past, the future, the truth. So the past seems considerably less scary than the future and the truth to me, but I don't know. I guess it depends on what was in your past. And I guess in his actually in Bran's case, he is afraid of the past because he's specifically terrified of the falling and Jaime, right?
Yeah. Also, the past might relate information that relates to the truth. The truth about. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. The past is going to destroy his highborn status. Okay, yeah, that is something to fear. Yeah, I
Yeah.
hadn't thought about that. Good point. I like it. They left him more muddled than ever. When he was alone, Bran tried to open his third eye, but he didn't know how. No matter how he wrinkled his forehead and poked at it, he couldn't see any different than he'd done before. In the days that followed, he tried to warn others about what Jojen had seen, but it didn't go as he wanted. Micken thought it was funny. The sea, is it? Happens always wanted to see the sea. Never got where I could go to it, though. So now it's coming to me, is it? The gods are good to take such trouble for a poor smith. The gods will take me when they see fit, Septon Chael said quietly, though I scarcely think it likely that I'll drown, Bran. I grew up on the banks of the White Knife, you know. I'm quite the strong swimmer. Alebelly was the only one who paid the warning any heed. He went to talk to Jojen himself and afterwards stopped bathing and refused to go near the well. Finally, he stank so bad that 6 of the other guards threw him into a tub of scalding water and scrubbed him raw while he screamed that they were going to drown him like the frog boy said. Thereafter, he scowled whenever he saw Bran or Jojen about the castle and muttered under his breath. It was a few days after Alebelly's bath that Sir Roderick returned to Winterfell with his prisoner, a fleshy young man with fat, moist lips and long hair who smelled like a privy, even worse than Alebelly had. Reek, he's called, Hay had said when Bran asked who it was. I never heard his true name. He served the bastard of Bolton and helped him murder Lady Hornwood, they say. I wouldn't swim anywhere in the north. Fair. The bastard himself was dead. Bran learned that evening over supper. Sir Roderick's men had caught him on Hornwood land, doing something horrible. Bran wasn't quite sure what, but it seemed to be something you did without your clothes, and shot him down with arrows as he tried to ride away. They came too late for poor Lady Hornwood, though. After their wedding, the bastard had locked her in a tower and neglected to feed her. Bran had heard men saying that when Sir Roderick had smashed down the door, he found her with her mouth all bloody and her fingers chewed off. Sadly, we know how Ramsay treats his prisoners. They are fairly starved, but that's not the only reason they want to eat their own fingers.
Yeah.
I suppose we should say that it's the weirwood stigmata, the traditional symbolism of blood sacrifice to have a red smile, right?
Yeah.
Should have killed Reek then and there. Where were you on that one, Jojen? Yeah, well, actually, we'll get to that because we have somebody volunteer to take care of that problem. The monster has tied us a thorny knot, the old knight told Maester Luwin. Like it or no, Lady Hornwood was his wife. He made her say the vows before both Septon and Hearttree, and bedded her that very night before witnesses. She signed a will naming him as heir and fixed her seal to it. Vows made at sword point are not valid, the Maester argued. Jaime agrees, but thinks it would be funny to obey them anyway. Roose Bolton may not agree, not with land at issue. Sir Roderick looked unhappy. Would that I could take this serving man's head off as well. Yeah, would that you could. Yeah. He's as bad as his master, but I fear I must keep him alive until Robb returns from his wars. He's the only witness to the worst of the bastard's crimes. Perhaps when Lord Bolton hears his tale, he will abandon his claim. But meantime, we have Manderley knights and Dreadfort men killing one another in Hornwood forests, and I lack the strength to stop them. The old knight turned in his seat and gave Bran a stern look. What have you been about while I've been away, my Lord Prince? Commanding our guardsmen not to wash? Do you want them smelling like this reek? Is that it? The sea is coming here, Bran said. Jojen saw it in a green dream. Alebelly is going to drown. Maester Luwin tugged at his chain collar. The Reed-boy believes he sees the future in his dreams, Sir Roderick. I've spoken to Bran about the uncertainty of such prophecies, but if truth be told, there is trouble along the stony shore. Raiders and longships plundering fishing villages, raping and burning. Leopold Tallheart has sent his nephew Benfred to deal with them, but I expect they'll take to their ships and flee at the first sight of armed men. Aye, and strike somewhere else. The others take all such cowards. They would never dare, no more than the bastard of Bolton, if our main strength were not 1,000 leagues south. Sir Roderick looked at Bran. What else did the lad tell you? He said the water would flow over our walls. He saw Alebelly drowned, and Micken and Septon Chael, too. Sir Roderick frowned. Well, should it happen that I need to ride against these raiders myself, I shan't take Alebelly then. He didn't see me drown, did he? No? Good. It heartened Bran to hear that. Maybe they won't drown then, he thought, if they stay away from the sea. Mira thought so too. Later that night, when she and Jojen met Bran in his room to play a 3-sided game of tiles, her brother shook his head. The things I see in green dreams can't be changed. That made his sister angry. Why would the gods send a warning if we can't heed it and change what's to come? I don't know, Jojen said sadly. If you were Alebelly, you'd probably jump into the well to have done with it. He should fight, and Bran should too. Me? Bran felt suddenly afraid. What should I fight? Am I going to drown too? Mira looked at him guilty. I should have said. He could tell that she was hiding something. Did you see me in a green dream? He asked Jojen nervously. Was I drowned? Not drowned. Jojen spoke as if every word pained him. I dreamed of the man who came today, the one they call Reek. You and your brother, I like that. The one they call Reek.
Yeah.
That's really interesting because he's not Reek, of course.
Right.
You and your brother lay dead at his feet, and he was skinning off your faces with a long red blade. Mira rose to her feet. If I went to the dungeon, I could drive a spear right through his heart. How could he murder Bran if he was dead? The jailers will stop you, Jojen said. The guards. If you tell them why you want him dead, they'll never believe. I have guards too, Bran reminded them. Alebelly and Poxy Tim and Hayhead and the rest. Jojen's mossy eyes were full of pity. They won't be able to stop him, Bran. I couldn't see why, but I saw the end of it. I saw you and Rickon in your crypts, down in the dark with all the dead kings and their stone wolves. No, Bran thought, no. If I went away to Greywater or to the Crow, someplace far where they couldn't find me. It will not matter. The dream was green, Bran, and the green dreams do not lie. Yabeli must be related to him somewhere down the line. So Nugo's paradox is can omniscience and free will coexist? And Mira believes in free will.
Right. Well, see, here's the thing that's got me. Jojen has the winged wolf chain by Greystone that gets sent by Howland Reed to Winterfell to specifically to Bran. I think it's Howland Reed that tells Jojen that the winged wolf is Bran. Jojen doesn't know until he gets there. And he's like, okay, yeah, it is Bran. If you're coming there to open Bran's third eye, but you have a dream where he dies, then I can just kind of, okay, well, I had that dream, he's going to die. Then why was I supposed to go if he's going to die before I get him open? It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense that dream is in there.
Right, and the fact that he's even said that you can't, that the interpretations he's told us they come true in ways you don't expect. He's expecting this to come true with Bran literally dying.
Well, them telling Sir Roderick that Alebelly is going to drown is one of the reasons why Alebelly is left at Winterfell to keep him away from the ocean that causes him to be there when the Ironborn come and kill him.
Right.
If they didn't say anything about it, with him being a guard, he could have very easily have gone with Sir Roderick to the coast. So just talking about the prophecy made part of the prophecy true.
There's better Pokemon at Winterfell.
I remember my wife
Sir Dave thinks he's related to Alebelly.
What's that?
Sir Dave believes that Sir Dave is related to Alebelly.
Okay. Pokemon. This was what 10 years ago, maybe. I can't remember the exact year. But my wife and myself would drive Chris the Crow around town, and we'd have to go slow through like housing projects or coming up to a light to make sure we were doing walking speed, so you could catch all these damn Pokemon.
Right.
And then he used to leave the house at leave the house at like 11 o'clock at night and walk around the housing development because there was a growler or one of those that was like 2 roads over and all that kind of stuff to go catch him. But sorry, Chris, everything's fair game. Some of it with Rickon saying is father coming home. That there is a theory that Ned could be living a second life somewhere. And Rickon, that's the reason he keeps forgetting, is because there's still a piece of Ned out there.
Well, he specifically seemed to be dreaming that he was a wolf in the Wolfwoods near Winterfell right before he died too, right? You're a good dad. I caught some good ones on that. The con. Pokemon go to the polls.
Well, when it first came out, there were people getting hit by cars because they were trying to catch Pokemon instead of looking where they're going. There's something else too. That's why I try to jump in when I think of it, because if we get to the end of it, I can't remember it because the thought was gone. Dang it. I'm kind of scrolling back up, seeing if anything catches my eye. But yeah, I think actually the winged wolf was actually Rickon. I don't think it's Bran. I think the three-eyed crow making it Bran sent a broken boy to Bloodraven instead of potentially the stronger Green Seer, which is Rickon, because he was in the crypts before Bran and them got there, which means his third eye opened by itself at such a young age. He didn't need help. He didn't need the three-eyed crow come to his dreams to open his third eye. So I think Rickon, even though there's people like Rickon's will have no effect on the story based on the show, blah blah, that he'll have no effect in the books, whatever. I think he's going to have a big effect in the stories. I think he's actually the Green Seer that should have gone, even though the Bloodraven was calling Bran. I think it should have been Rickon. I think Rickon should have been the one to go to see the Bloodraven. Yeah.
It's going to be quite powerful when he shows back up, according to Sir Dave.
Oh, yeah. After eating all them unicorns? Backing up. Well, I like backing up better. It was funnier. Well, I mean, that's just my opinion. I think Rickon is the stronger of the two.
I actually don't, but
I
think he's going to be. I think he's supposed to get. I think it's going to be a cautionary tale of what happens when you get too immersed
in the wolf.
Yep.
There's another one we disagree on. Oh, by the way, I was showing off my shirt. It is the map Westeros.
Nice.
When I was 215 pounds, I could not wear this shirt. Now that I'm down to 185, which I lost for Ice and FireCon, I can wear it on here, but I can't wear it to the grocery store because it's shrunk so much that my belly kind of shows on the bottom of it when I stand up. But it's perfect for this here. So there's that.
We're leading an army of unicorn goats.
I see another thing. The Scargosi, I don't think they're cannibals. I don't think they're what people say they are. I think they're more like the Thins. I think they have a system that they do kneel. There are lords. The cannibal part of it is just to keep people away. They might be cannibals
in some sort of ritualistic sense of like respecting your elderly when they go and you something. I don't know. He's going to marry Wyla in the ultimate manly power move. Northern Conspiracy.
There you go. Lizzie's got the headdresses that Lady Thistle made her on her wall. She showed pictures on Discord. I don't know if she put it on Twitter or not. She needs to, but she's got them up and they look beautiful on the wall. It's a really, really good picture.
One guy once ate a finger and now they're all cannibals.
But we'll see. Hopefully we'll see them in Wins the Winter. I'm hoping that Rickon is back. I'm hoping we see the Scargosi.
Well, I think we talked about it last time that it appears that was it last time? Anyway, maybe it was in book club. Maybe it was in book club. But anyway, the point is, like the people that Osha knows best are she keeps having she's had her chains like lengthened and then removed and so forth. So she knows you feed on strays to go see a finger one time. One stray. Yeah, you feed one stray.
Yeah.
Could go see a figure one time. Anyway, so Mikken, she knows Mikken because she keeps having her chains lengthened and then removed, right? Right. And she's sleeping with Gage, right?
Yeah.
And those are the people who there are tribes who ritualistically eat their fallen rivals. No other time selective cannibalism is as strange as full cannibalism. Yeah. I can
see the eating of the heart of a fallen enemy. Not that I would do it, but I mean, I can see that in this world from the Scargosi eating the heart of the deer that you kill, uh, eating the heart of a fallen enemy to absorb their power. I mean, I can see them doing that, but
Uh,
not
the,
not be full cannibals.
the point is the only people that we really know that OSHA knows eat them to gain their power. I do it all the time. So
Apparently,
so
Baggins has too, because Baggins is the bomb. So he's ate a lot of hearts.
so specific names of the servants that OSHA knows best are
Mhm.
Mick and Engage, right?
Right.
And so we have a significant clue that she's already back because those are specifically the people that how else to teach our kids about proper blood feuds. those are specifically the people that is it is one of the Umbers which who is it that anyway the point is that that's the test that they give to um, the one pit fighter Marine eats his opponent's hearts. Where was he from? Oh, that's a good question.
Very
Um,
good.
but so anyway, the point is that there's clues. Davos disappears pretty early, and it's quite a while before, and then it's near the end of the book when they're questioning Jane, trying to determine if she's actually Arya,
Right.
and what do they test her with? They've somehow been given the names of two people at Winterfell, the two people at Winterfell that we know that OSHA knew well, right?
McKinnon.
So
Right.
the clue is they're back at that point.
Okay.
The clue is implying that they're already back at that point. So the Maori tribes eat the fallen to gain mana, and that's a real life thing. Anyone in George's world doing it wouldn't shock me at all. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree, Dave, without a doubt.
But it's also possible that they're just misunderstood, or that there's some ritual that they have, or that they did something once, or all these things. Any of these
Yeah.
things could be true.
Yeah.
Maybe multiples of them.
Well, I mean, I agree with Sir Dave Zilla. I mean, out of all the places that we've been told about, the one spot where that a community would eat the heart of a fallen victim would be an island that is suspected to be cannibals. I mean, uh, and also feeding the dead or the fallen enemies to the weirwood tree. Um, Feeding the weirwood tree might be considered some type of cannibal act. Maybe.
Yeah, I like that. In fact, you could view them as, yeah, I kind of like that. But if we view the trees as the people and the spirits in them, and then they're drinking humans, you could kind of see them as kind of cannibals, right?
Now, I don't remember which king shattered the ships and made the Scargosi vow to never leave the island or whatever it was. But were they considered bannermen of the Starks when that happened? Because if they were bannermen of the Starks when they were refused uh, access to ships to leave the island, would they still consider themselves bannermen of the Starks today? And that would be the rallying point of the Scargosi coming to Bran or Rickon's aid and coming through the north.
I think that's interesting. I wonder whether or not we're going to get. He says that things aren't necessarily in order and so forth. So even if they're already back, he could still go ahead and give us a Davos chapter of him, or more likely, Davos is back and then he has a flashback. Right, this is what he likes to do. Right, almost every one of the a huge percentage of the chapters, the person tells us what happened in the past.
How they got to where they are now.
Right. So actually, no, he probably won't do that. He probably will have Davos already back, but then he'll also have a flashback, and a huge portion of the chapter will be remembering how he came upon Rickon or something like that, right?
Right. So I'm wondering if the Scargosi are far behind Rickon, if they'll show up at the Battle of Ice, or if they're to the east of the north as the story stops now. if Rickon's back, if they're camped out or they're on the
Yeah,
eastern side of the north.
yeah. He may even remember how he managed to track him down. That's a good point.
Yeah,
He could remember the story of how he learned where he was and who told him and all this stuff. Yeah, but it's probably going to be a flashback though because he probably is already here.
yeah. See, David
Yeah.
Little says, I could see
Yep.
Davos talking to
So I was
some
talking to some
elder
elder here.
and hearing the story. Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Hey,
and,
is my microphone better? I got a new headset. Hopefully the
yeah,
microphone's
it's
better.
actually it's a lot better.
Yeah, I figured it
Before
would be.
you would fade in and out a little bit.
Yeah,
It wasn't.
that's a lot of why I went ahead and did it. So
Yeah.
I had some credit with I bought a Pixel last year, so I had some credit for. So I went and got the Pixel Buds. So
Yeah, I'm a cheap bastard. Whatever the telephone, my cell phone,
yeah.
whatever mic is in there, that's what I use.
Well, so what I'm saying is that I was using $28 headset, but now I'm
Yeah.
using the $100 headset. But I had $200 worth of credit, so it didn't really cost
Yeah.
anything.
I don't got $100 for a headset. I'm saving that money for the move. Then, and after that, it's for the Kingsguard armor that Chris the Crow is paying for half. When I typed that on comments, I actually typed in Kingsguard, and for some reason, it knocked off when I hit send.
Oh, yeah. I'll go back
It knocked off the guard part, Chris. So money.
Yeah, this one. Wait till you get the bill. It's half the price of a King's Guard.
Lizzie says the shirt is one, Richard. I can't believe that's been the only reference. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, you did allude to the what madness is this line earlier.
Yeah, Lizzie would count that maybe. All right. We got chapter 36, Tyrion 8. Someone
I was thinking earlier about the way Bran wishes that he thought of Ghost. So I think some of this is a Trinity symbolism, right? And so I think of Bran as being God the Father wed to the trees, right? And then John is obviously the Jesus character, and so having Bran want to be bound to the ghost and having right for an old Catholic like George, ghost would be the third member of the Trinity. My mom says ghost and not spirit, right? So
yeah.
So it'd be Father, Son, and Ghost. So Bran wishes that he had bound himself to Ghost, and John bound himself to Ghost, and so anyway, I was just thinking about that as far as some of the symbolism. So there you go. Bran is wed to the trees, and that represents Asherah, and this whole story is about purging the history of Asherah, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, well, doesn't John's name actually translate to the gift, making him the actual Jesus figure in the story?
Well, people have said that his name is basically Jack Frost. I think LML said that, right? He's basically, Jack is the nickname for John, so Jack really means John, right? And so his name is basically Jack Snow or Jack Frost.
Yeah. Oh, well, I had heard it was the gift, so I can't remember. It might have been Order of Green Hand that said that.
That makes sense.
All right, Tyrion 8 on Monday. Someone should propose a new marriage alliance, but who should go?
Oh yeah. You're right. Yeah, Tyrion's 8th chapter. Someone should propose a new marriage alliance, but who should go? Right, and they're trying to each get which. And I think later on Tyrion's going to kind of regret this because they keep trying to get he's trying to get Cersei out of his way, and Cersei's trying to get him out of her way. Yeah. So they wind up sending Baelish, right? I think later on he's going to realize that was a huge mistake. The person who goes gets to live because we're about to be attacked.
Yep.
Anyway,
I'm really surprised Tyrion didn't just say let Lancel do it. But then he got to thinking about the castle. So
no, he wants Lancel's his spy. Why would he send Lancel?
Oh, I'm talking about to marry Sansa. I was thinking of the further.
Your point is Your point is he should have. Yeah, and then he wouldn't have been forced to marry her.
Yeah.
Anyway,
All right. It's Friday as usual. We like to tell everybody to please have a safe and fun weekend. My Saturday will be spent replacing the valve cover gasket on the Modinal's car. Sunday, I'll probably be working on doing the exact same thing on the wife's car. But have fun, read books. I got to look up and see what the chapters are for tonight's book club. I know I can't stay for all of it. I got to go to bed so I can get it and work on car in the morning. But please, everybody, stay safe. We appreciate you joining in. We didn't get up to 11 like the other day on the Ice and FireCon rehash. Mowing all weekend. Yeah, I got to do that too. In between the two cars, I got to mow the. Luckily, I have a riding lawnmower. I can't push. My legs won't let me push a riding lawnmower or a push mower. But all right. What was it say?
It's just the prologue.
Oh, just a prologue. Okay. Thanks, Sanji. And we appreciate y'all joining in. Definitely, thank you, Lady Thistle. Lady Thistle, if you're available at 1:15, I can jump on chat so we can shoot the breeze if you're not doing anything. Dave's got a pusher. Yeah. The where we lived at before here had an acre of grass to cut, and I'm like, hell no, I can't do that. I borrowed my brother's riding lawnmower, and I don't like borrowing stuff. So at tax time, we did the Walmart special riding mower. Thank you, Lizzie. Thanks to Dave. Appreciate y'all joining in. We'll see y'all Monday. Have fun. Take care. Bye, Richard.
Have a good one.
All right.